We're back. Hi, Laura. Hi, Jen.
Hi.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
So we're a few episodes in, and we thought we'd do a bit of an intro episode so you can get to know us a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So Jennifer, how'd you get into Frasier?
So Frasier aired, obviously in the early '90s, and when it was on the air, I was in probably like elementary school, middle school. So I did not watch it when it first aired. I got into Frasier when I was in college and trying to avoid studying.
Mm-hmm.
So I had seen an episode here and there when it was airing live in the '90s, but I think I found a set on VHS at a thrift store in college and watched it just pretty much on repeat. And then once it came back to streaming, I revisited it and was really, really excited about it. But
Mm-hmm.
the episodes I saw as a kid were a little more sporadic. And I do find that funny because as an adult, I find Frasier to be such a relatable character that I'm like, how did I not form my entire personality around Frasier Crane? Or maybe I did, and it was all subliminal. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because you study psychology, so maybe you did.
Yeah, it's true. So yeah, I study psychology. I collect wine. Like if I would kill a person to live in his apartment. So
Mm-hmm.
I do find it very funny. But yeah, I was a little late to the Frasier game, but I made up for it by extreme repetition.
Exactly.
So yeah, but I think you got into it much earlier than I did, right?
Yeah, so my mum used to watch it on TV, so I sort of knew about it from that, but I got into it as a teenager. I think when I was about 13, I just started watching it myself, and yeah, like you, on repeat religiously.
Oh yeah. Well,
Were
this
other
especially
kids your age watching it with you, Laura, or were you the only
No,
13-year-old?
I was the only one. Everyone else was into Friends.
You know what? At some point, we're gonna have to have the Frasier versus Friends and possibly versus Seinfeld conversation. But
Hmm.
Oh, it's
uh,
gonna happen.
yeah, but I would argue that that just that probably just gave you more of like an informative start to where you are now with your work as a writer. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I use Frasier as a bit of an inspiration for my writing because I think the writing on that show is just very sharp and
Mhm.
it's got the same kind of humor that I've got. Like I feel like
Yeah.
Frasier did sort of form who I am quite a bit
Mhm.
as a teenager. I'm very sort of dry-witted and
Mhm.
love that kind of humor.
That smartness and the like less dependent on a laugh track kind of sitcom
Yeah.
writing.
Yeah.
Simone, how about you?
Yeah, so when Frasier was out on the streets back in the 90s, I was in elementary school. So I had no concept of the show. And in my household, I really don't think the adults in my life were watching that. I know we were probably watching like In Living Color, Living Single. So we were watching like peak 1990s black TV.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I didn't really get into Frasier until I was at home on maternity leave with my first child. And I remember it was just on Netflix and it just kind of,
Mhm.
I just was taking care of my baby and it was just playing in the background. And I think it was probably like almost through the end of season one where I just started laughing and I hadn't laughed. And come to find out, I had postpartum depression. So this show really has a special place in my heart because it really helped
Mhm.
me transition and become and to adjust to motherhood. And then and then I kind of watched it all. I actually have never seen the last episode of Frasier. I
Oh,
never sat and watched it. I refused to watch it because I just didn't want it to end.
yeah, I can see that.
So I actually
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't even really know how it ends. So that's gonna be a journey. But now that there's a reboot, I feel more comfortable with doing
Right,
that
because
now.
Yeah.
it doesn't have the same ending as Lost.
Exactly. And
Oh.
then right before I went to law school, I kind of got back into Frasier again once I met other people on Reddit, and they were like
Mhm.
black people who like Frasier, which is a very unique thing because you don't really see a lot of black people who like Frasier, but we are out there. And I was on Reddit and like I was talking to this one girl. She's like in the UK, and she goes, "I'm a Black Brit that loves Frasier. Is there anybody out there who does?" And I was like, "Girl, I have a tattoo of Frasier on my arm. I love Frasier."
I have a feeling, but before we get to you watching that last episode, because we got some time, I have a
Yes,
feeling I will join you in the Frasier Tattoo Club.
Yeah, I was
yes,
actually
and I'm gonna.
thinking of getting one. I
Oh,
just want to
Maybe
get
look
the.
at you.
Yeah, I know. I want to get
maybe
this.
that's
I've
it.
wanted to get the skyline for ages. That's what you have,
Mhm.
isn't it?
That's what I have. And you know what's funny though? I'm not gonna lie. When I went to the tattoo guy, I had the idea to have the skyline, but also have it say Frasier. And then the tattoo guy kind of stopped me on it. He goes, "The
Yeah,
skyline's enough."
Yeah.
But I
yeah. I mean,
saw
it's
this
iconic.
one. Yeah, and that's what he says. He goes, "It speaks for itself." And I said, "Oh, that's nice."
Hmm.
But I saw this really famous celebrity chef, and he had the tattoo of Frasier, the word veneer. And I've seen some men with veneer like on their calves and stuff. So
Amazing.
they
I
they walk
have
amongst
thought
us.
about this. As I eventually transition from grad student to psychotherapist. I
Mhm.
have thought about getting "I'm listening" as a tattoo. I do feel like it is wildly appropriate.
It says something. No,
Yeah,
it just does.
yeah. So
Yes.
I got some time, but you know what? Maybe I'll get mine as a little graduation from grad school.
You should. I really feel like Frasier, he really does come into people's lives in these really interesting ways. I mean, there's even a whole community in Reddit where it's like, what is it called? Frasier at night or sleeping with Frasier or sleeping while Frasier's on
Frasier
TV.
sleepers.
There
Frasier
it is.
sleepers.
There,
Yeah.
sleeping with Frasier. I don't know the name, but yes.
Yeah. I used
Oh,
to watch Frasier late at night in bed.
Oh, that's
yeah.
so interesting.
I have a feeling, I don't know the statistics, but I bet you Conan O'Brien does. But I feel like people are either watching TV and they're either watching Conan O'Brien or Frasier at night because those are the ones that come on at night. When
Oh,
you
that's
can't
so funny.
sleep.
But in the
Mm.
streaming era, though, I think you could watch anything you want at night.
Yes, yes. But I do remember that there was a time with network TV, they would play like these
Mhm.
marathons. So, but
Yeah,
you're right, streaming's kind of changed the game. But
yeah.
still, Frasier still holds on.
There's a Sleepless in Seattle joke to be made there, but I'm not going to make
Oh,
it.
I walked right into that guy.
I
David
know.
Hyde Pierce is in Sleepless in Seattle. He did that just before he
Amazing.
did Frasier.
Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah. You know what's
It's the reason I
interesting?
watched that movie.
You know what? I something else that just talking about Seattle kind of jogged into my mind. My two, like hands down, favorite television series of all time are both set in that area. Obviously Frasier, but Twin Peaks is just outside Seattle as
Hmm.
well. And
Oh
I
yeah.
find that fascinating. I don't know what it is. My television preferences definitely gravitate very Pacific Northwest wise.
Wow, isn't that interesting?
I've been meaning to
Yeah.
watch Twin Peaks.
Oh, we need to have a talk about this. I'm a I mean, obviously, like we all know to the extent to which we three are very into Frasier, but I could deep dive on David Lynch all day. So
Separate
let's have
podcast
that
idea.
talk. Different, yes.
Well, speaking of like being deep into Frasier though, I love when I watch other shows that reference Frasier, like Family Guy does it
Yes.
often.
Yeah.
Simpsons, there's just so
Yeah.
many, even SNL at times.
Oh yeah.
In one of their cold openings, they did like a competition, like which relative gave the worst gift, and one of the ones was like a Frasier Monopoly set, and I was like, I would want that. That's a perfect.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good point that you make, though. A lot of these really just excellently made TV shows. There's a ton of stuff that's made much later that's very derivative, and I think the same can be said for Twin Peaks. Um,
Hmm.
and like, there's so many pieces of media that I think are homages there, but that's
Yeah.
a different show. But it is
Yes,
has
it
that
is.
Seattle
But
connection.
it does
So
lead to something that I often think about. I do because I think about Kelsey Grammer, the actor, and how like if it was not for this actor, this character, we would not have this character.
yeah,
And it just makes me wonder, like in the age of technology, of AI, like the how actors can kind of give a perpetual legacy to a character. Like a character can live in perpetuity with technology now. Like you can just train AI to just sound like Kelsey Grammer and maybe continue to make Frasier episodes even long past the real actor being alive. So I always wonder.
Terrifying.
It would be very frightening, but I'm sure it's like we're not that far from the future of that
Oh
happening,
man.
of like these
Mm.
characters living on forever. I mean, I think The Simpsons hint to it all the time, where they're always like almost threatening to have a final season, because but then people want more and more and more, and I think that Frasier is one of those types of characters that just keeps spanning the time and just keeps popping up as being relevant.
Yeah, it's pretty timeless. It holds up really well considering it's from the 90s.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We all met through Reddit.
We did.
We did.
I put out
Yes.
a post saying I wanted to do a Frasier podcast, and you lovely ladies responded, and
Here we are.
here we are.
We got very lucky. I do think for two reasons. One, I do really like the conversations with you, so I think that that we got lucky in that way. But also, what are the odds that three internet strangers saying, "Hey, I want to do a podcast," actually made it?
Exactly.
Yeah, because we all live full lives and we're in three
On
different
the other
time
side
zones.
of the world.
Yeah, 3 different time zones going on.
I'm in Australia,
Yeah.
so it's Monday morning for me, but it's Sunday evening for you guys.
Yeah, I'm in Buffalo, New York. So
and I'm in Arizona. So we got
Mhm.
a lot of different things going on time zone wise.
And we still make it work.
We do.
That is the magic stuff.
We've just finished taping episode 12, so we're halfway through season 1 now.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
celebrations are in order. Woo woo!
Get some sharing.
Well, so we just recorded this because we just want the listeners to kind of get an idea of who we are and what brought us here, better contextualize some of our commentary.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
So yeah, thanks for listening to us.
Thanks.
And continue on.
Yes, hopefully we'll catch you next episode.
Bye.
Well then.
Bye.
But I don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs. They're calling again. Good night, Seattle. We love you.